Hi, I'm Theresa. Welcome to Creative Whims Studio. Well, as you all know, we got back from market and it was our best market ever. I mean, you know, we've grown every year, and this year, I really don't know, you know, it could be the quality of the designs, it could be the economy's better, it could be there were more shops there than normal shopping. You know, I don't really know what to you know, why it was the best show ever, but anyway, we were way up in our sales, and we sold out a and I was open Friday night. That could have made a difference. There were several different things I did different as far as like being open Friday night. I had more designs than I normally have had in the past, and I think the quality of my work is getting better, and I think just that combination of those things made the show spectacular for me. So I'm just so grateful. Thank you everyone who pre-ordered from your shop so they knew what to come in and get, and just thanks to the shops for being there. Thank you for Beth and Larry and everyone, you know, putting the show on. I know I can't even imagine what it entails to put that market on, but they do a spectacular job. I mean, when they did the first year they did that market and took it over when TNNA decided not to do it anymore. Well, the very next year, Yarn Tree and Needlework Retailer, they took it over, and it didn't skip a beat. I mean, it ran smooth, and they're so generous. They come around to every single room and welcome us, and you know, thank us for being there, and they're just very, very kind people. So thanks everybody. Thank you, Kristen, for coming in and helping. I felt guilty. She kept saying, well, I'll be here tomorrow. I'm like, you don't have to. And she wanted to, and because we were having fun, we had a blast. And of course, my husband, I couldn't do it without you. I mean, the master packer, you saw him. You saw how that van was packed. It's amazing. So anyway, just lots of helping hands, you know, and all of us working together is what makes this market so fantastic. So after market, we went to Missouri. I have relatives in Bernie, Missouri. That's where my dad was born and raised, and his sister lives there with her husband and then their daughter, Shelly, my cousin, and then Shelly's son, Trey, his wife, Angelin, and then they have a baby. I forget how old the baby is now. Isaiah, he is, ooh, I don't know. Ellery's 10 months. I want to say he's 6 to 8 months old. I can't remember. My bad. But anyway, we went over there, and my mom and Jerry drove up from Florida, and we all stayed at my aunt's house, and it was wonderful. It was a short trip. We didn't get there till like 3 o'clock on Monday. We were there all day Tuesday and left Wednesday morning, you know, and it would have been nice to stay longer, but I have so many orders to get out, and I knew when I came back I was going to have Ellery on Thursday, which was yesterday. Today is Friday, March 8th, and I wanted to be back to see her because I missed her the week before, and I know it's a hassle for Bree and Eric to find someone to watch her, and you know, I needed to be home to get ready for today and the rest of the weekend. Printing, you can hear my printer in the background. Printing the covers, printing the charts. We will be cutting and folding and stuffing and shipping orders all weekend. I have all the cookbooks for y'all that pre-ordered the cookbook. You are going to love it. I will show that in a little bit. So anyway, that was our week. You know, and before markets, someone had asked me what do I look forward to at market. Well, I had mentioned spring weather. This was not a year for spring weather. It was as cold there as it was when we left Michigan. Even Missouri, I mean, well, Missouri is like straight west from Nashville, so they have the same kind of weather. And it was just bitter cold, rainy, icky, gross. The sun came out the day we left, so at least we had nice weather driving over to Missouri, and we had beautiful sunny weather driving all the way back to Michigan on Wednesday. But it was just bitter cold. Really, really cold. So let me do the drawings before I forget. So it wasn't last week, because last week I did the Nashville experience, but the week before that, the drawing was for flying lessons, and I don't have the chart to show you because we sold out. And I'm printing them, but I'll show you the model. So this is flying lessons, and the winner for that chart is Laureen McQuaid. So Laureen, if you could please email me your mailing address, and you can get my email right here or in the description box below, and I'll get that in the mail to you. The next giveaway is for our #1 shining star of a chart, Believe. We sold out of this chart Friday night. Friday night. I have, and I'm printing 200 more covers. That's crazy. That's crazy town. So this was our bestseller, so I'm giving away one of those charts. And I couldn't think of a good question. I struggled. I couldn't think of a good question. So this might be kind of boring. Maybe not. But anyway, the question this week to get in the drawing is, what is your favorite animal to stitch? Maybe it's the main part of the design, or maybe it's in the motifs, or like in a sampler if there's like little birds tucked in there, or little doggies, or little kitties, peacocks, I don't know, any kind of animal. What is your favorite animal to stitch? That's the question. I wanted to give a shout out to Gary Parr at Fiber Talk. He has a YouTube channel called, or Flosstube channel called Fiber Talk. I had never heard of him before. Previous to leaving for Nashville, he emailed me and asked if he could interview me and talk about my new designs. And I said yes, of course. Well, Friday, Saturday, nuts, crazy, busy. Couldn't leave the booth. I mean, it was so busy. Sunday was less busy, although we still had a really good day. But I was out doing my thing. You know, I was out meeting designers. I went to Picture This Plus and Weeks Dye Works and Dames of the Needle, and what's the other one? Lady Dot Creates, and looking for things to have my designs, to embellish my designs and whatnot. So I was very busy on Sunday, and I was not in my room, so I missed Gary, and I apologized. I emailed him when I got back and apologized, but it didn't work out. And then I watched a couple of his, I had a couple of his interviews playing while I was working this morning, and he does a really nice job. He went in, so this is my shout out, you got to go check him out. He went in to the designers' rooms and had them talk about their new designs and interviewed them, and he did such a beautiful job. And I like it because they're all individual videos. It's not like one long ongoing video of 50 different people. Each person has their own little video. I love it. It's really great. So check that out. Oh, and I have to give a shout out to Vikki StitchNButton. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I just love her. I met her and Elizabeth from Dames of the Needle. We were at the same show last, was it May, I want to say, near Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It was the Prim Stitcher Society retreat, and I was a vendor there, and Lady Dot Creates, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Dames of the Needle, Elizabeth, I'm so sorry, she was there, and Vikki was there helping her. And I really didn't get to talk with them much because I did the show by myself, so I couldn't leave my booth, and it was very busy. But anyway, I went down, her booth, or her room at Nashville was just a few rooms down, so I went in there, finally, really got to meet Elizabeth and talk with her. And Vikki, she just is she's a joy. She just radiates joy and fun. And she was cracking me up because she's trying to help me pick out, because because Elizabeth said, I want you to come and get, you know, I want you to get things that will help you with your finishing. And she was busy with customers, so Vikki was helping me like pull things that were my color, my kind of color, and everything. And she's telling me how I can use these on my finishing, and she was using words I didn't know, and she's like, do I have to teach you everything? And I'm like, yes you do. Can you please come to my studio and show me how to finish things? Because that was one thing. I'm probably getting ahead of myself, but I have this list of things that I learned at this show, and one of them, I'm just going to say right now because I'm talking about finishing, is I want to do better with my finishing. I love framing things. I love, you know, that displays easily on the wall for me. But when I went into other designers' rooms and saw, you know, little pin cushions and pillows and the trims they use, they're so pretty, and I love that. So that's something that I'm hoping to accomplish this year, so that next year I have things that are not just framed, even though I like that too. So, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to turn my phone off. Excuse me one second. My husband texted me, and it's probably something. Sounds good. I told him he could do the Flosstube with me today, since we're talking Nashville again, but he's up there cutting, he's at the house cutting covers and all that. So okay, Kevin, you're on your own. All right, so I did the drawing. I've decided I'm going to highlight things that I talk about so that I know I've done everything. Shout out to Gary. Shout out to Vikki of StitchNButton. I had fun. Well, I had fun with everything, but again, like I said before I went to market, it's about people. I mean, yeah, it's about showing you designs and making sales, and because without that, why would we be there, right? So of course that's important, but my favorite thing is just the people. I love the shops. I can't wait for that day when a shop owner would come in and I know the person's name and their shop name. Not there yet, y'all, not there. They come in, familiar face, I welcome them. Oh my gosh, it's so great to see you, but I glance down at their tag, pull their name up, and their shop name is underneath their names, and it's a little smaller, so I don't always make the connection for everybody. There are some that I'm finally getting, but that's like something that to me is a gift. I know people that have that gift that can meet somebody and not see them for 2 years and run into them again and know their name and ask about their children. How's Suzy doing? And I'm like, wow, that is a beautiful, beautiful gift, and that's a gift I would love to have. But I got to meet someone that I've followed for a while, and Annie B's folk art. It was awesome. She came into my room, and she is taking my Creatively Balanced Life e-course, the folk art one. And I follow her on Instagram, and so if you're not familiar with the Creatively Balanced Life e-course, what it is it's a series of 9 videos. Each video I teach you to paint a painting, and that painting is around a theme or a subject, and it's 9 different topics or subjects in order to help you to find balance in your life. So there's faith, there's family, there's friends, fun, finance, career, creativity. Oh, there's a couple more. Anyway, there's 9 of them. And so you paint 9 paintings, and as we're painting and I'm telling you how to paint it, I'm also talking about those particular topics. And then I have a downloadable PDF that kind of furthers a little bit more in-depth look at that topic. So here's the link if you want to go check it out. But Annie B's folk art, she's taking the course, and she came in to thank me for the course because she said in the finance topic, I mentioned Dave Ramsey. and she said that is helping her and her husband like get their finance, because I guess he retired this past year or is retiring or something like that. But anyways, this Dave Ramsey, if you're not familiar with him, you got to look him up. He is amazing at helping people to become debt free, and he has, you know, systems in place for making that happen. And anyways, so, you know, because like she said, you know, you put things out there, and if people don't give you feedback, you don't know, does anybody care? Does anybody even, when they buy the course, do they actually do the paintings? Are they learning anything from it? You know, that kind of thing. So she was so generous to come in and give me feedback and let me know that she was really enjoying it. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sorry. So that weaver's cloth, I mentioned in my previous video before the Nashville video. If I didn't have the weaver's cloth in my punch needle patterns, would that, you know, make you kind of say, I'm not going to buy her stuff? The overwhelming majority said they prefer to have the pattern in there, or the weaver's cloth in there. It's just one less thing that they have to try to get, you know, that way when they get the pattern, they're ready to go. Well, if they have the floss. But anyway, there were some that said, I have weaver's cloth on hand, so it wouldn't matter to me. I don't need it in there. But I am going to continue to do it. I told my husband, honey, we're going to continue to offer that. And then I had mentioned a recipe, and several people said, oh, I want that recipe. It was for chicken scallopini, and I will get that in next week's video. It'll be a downloadable PDF because I just haven't had time to type that up for you. So that'll be next week. All right, on to market talk. Number one was gratitude. I already did that. I thanked everybody that I could possibly think of, and if I missed you, I'm sorry. I mentioned it was our best show ever. Flosstube. Flosstube has made me come out of my shell a little bit. I don't consider myself a super shy person, but you know, normally on Sundays I would leave my room and I would go to see vendors that I buy from, like Picture This Plus, Weeks Dye Works, you know, and I would go see them. And I didn't really go into the other designers' rooms. I don't know why. You know, I don't know. Because I know it's business for them, and you know, however, if I looked at it this way, when designers come into my room and introduce themselves, I love visiting with them. So if I just looked at it that way, it would be, you know, maybe I wouldn't have been so apprehensive. But, you know, I just don't know how they might react to another designer being in the room and everything. And I should know better, because this community is amazing, and no one's going to like throw you out of the room because you're competition. Because I don't look at it as competition. I don't think other designers do either, because we all have such a distinct style, a distinct look. I mean, that's what's so fascinating to me. But anyway, because I said I would do the video, you know, I had intentions of going into way more rooms than I did, but I was gone a lot of Sunday, because when you go into someone's room, you don't just go in and say, can I videotape and leave. I want to get to know the people. So I sat and visited and had great conversations with the designers. So it took a lot longer than I thought, and I didn't get to reach everybody. So that's a bummer, but I did the best I could. And the people that I missed, that I really wanted to get, and then I actually went into their room, but they were busy with customers and I didn't want to interrupt, and I knew I needed to keep going. Brenda Gervais, oh, I really wanted her stuff is always, I always admired her stuff, and just to see the models in person is just fantastic. But she was busy, and I told her I would come back, and I didn't make it back. And then Lori from La Di Da, I went in her room. She wasn't in there, but her husband, I think, am I thinking of the right person? Anyway, she wasn't in there. And I think it was her husband was waiting on customers, and they were busy, and so I didn't want to interrupt. So again, I thought, well, I'll go back, and I didn't. And then Theresa Venette, oh my gosh. I love her Flosstube channel. Kitchen Stitcher on Flosstube, but Shakespeare's Peddler is her design company name. And I had to see her stuff in person, because I watched her video of the market preview, and her stuff is amazing. And when I first started watching her on Flosstube, I didn't even know she was a designer. I had no idea. I'm telling you, you learn a lot watching Flosstube. But I really was looking forward to meeting her and visiting a little bit. I went into her room, and I don't know, brain fog, whatever you want to call it, but Suzy Reno was in there. Suzy was with her helping, and Theresa was not in the room. And I'm looking, it was so weird because I'm looking at Suzy Reno and I'm thinking in my head, that doesn't look like Theresa. But yet she looks so familiar. So that I was like, brain fog. And then she started talking to me and we were talking, and then she could tell, I think, the puzzled look on my face, and she's like, I'm not Theresa, I'm Suzy Reno. I'm like, oh, okay, I felt like an idiot. But anyway, so so she was going through the designs and showing me everything, and I really wanted to do some video, but I know Theresa does video too, so, and she had already showed her design, so I wasn't too worried about that, but I really wanted to get a picture with her. And I ran into her in the hallway, and you know, she's like, I'm gonna come to your room, when are you gonna be back there? And I'm like, I'm not sure when. And anyway, I ran into her in the hallway again, and she's like, you're not back in your room yet. So anyway, we never got to catch up with each other, but I would love to sit and talk with her. And then her and Suzy did that fantastic video. You gotta go see it. I think it's on Suzy's channel though, where they ask each other questions. I love when they do that, and it's hilarious. Oh, it's just the best. So you gotta go check that out. And who else did I miss? I missed a lot. Oh, Cecilia, I missed a lot. But next year, what I'm gonna do is, they give you a market book, and I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna highlight all the designers and just get up in Sunday morning, bam, show opens at 9, I'm out the door. I don't think I left my room till like 11. So yeah, I didn't leave my room till around 11, and I was gone for most of the rest of the afternoon, but I think I'm gonna hit it hard next year, right, you know, first thing. So I talked about that. Okay, cookbook. I have to show you this cookbook. This cookbook went above and beyond what I thought it was going to be. The quality of the pages, I thought it was gonna be, you know, those ones that have that spiral, plastic spiral thing, and it's just, you know, like kind of, you know, cheap paper inside. No, this is all nice glossy pages. It is incredible. I mean, really, really nicely done. One thing that I thought was fantastic, and if they do this again, I'm gonna do it too, because I love the handwritten ones, if I can find one. Handwritten, of course, can't find one now. But it was her, I think it's her grandmother, and it's her grandmother's handwriting right here. You gotta check this out. So, oh yeah, that's way too bright. Right here. So look at it, it's the original handwritten recipe. That is the coolest thing. I love that. And then I have a couple recipes in here, and then I have a picture in here of, it's 4 generations. It's myself, our firstborn son Kyle, and my father, and then my father's mother, my grandma, that lives in Missouri, or well, she did. She's gone now, but anyways, this is just near and dear to my heart. I cannot wait to try these recipes. So I have all my books. Right now on my Etsy shop, it says that it's sold out, but I did order more before I went to market. So I might have 10 to 15 more. I'm gonna have to look at my orders and then see how many I have left. So go to my Etsy shop and look, because I'm gonna try to do that today, so that if I do still have some for sale, I will relist it, okay? So that's that. It's awesome. I know you will love it, and if I don't have any more, you need to try to find someone that still has some, because I think this is a real treasure. It has really cute little small charts in here too. So cute, so cute. So I wanted to do this 7 things I learned this year at market. Number 1, leaving on Wednesday instead of Thursday is a must every year. because now I'm going to be open every Friday, every year on Friday, and there's just no way I can get there Thursday late and then get set up and be open by 6 o'clock Friday. It just was way less stress. We didn't have to worry about getting out of here, you know. I was gonna say the ass crack of dawn, but I can't say that because Lent. The other thing is, don't buy box wine for Friday night. I wanted to treat my customers, so I don't know what the heck I was thinking. Did I think y'all were winos or something? I don't know, but I bought a box of, well, you can't just have white because some people don't like white wine. Some people don't like red wine. So in my infinite wisdom, I bought a box of Chardonnay and a box of chilled red wine, and I think 4 people had a glass of wine like that much. Guess what? I towed it home with me, 2 boxes of wine. So I'm like, I said to my husband, I wanted to do something nice, but wine's not the way to go. So what I'm gonna do, next year is gonna be my 15th anniversary of when I started my needle arts business. I didn't start cross stitch till a little bit later, but yeah, so 2005 was the first year that I did a show showing my punch needle. So in celebration of that, I don't know, I'll have cupcakes, I'll have something yummy. And I have some cool ideas for designing that I will be releasing next year in Nashville that will be in celebration of that 15-year mark. So that's exciting. Need a list for packing every year. Now, don't you think I would have a master list of everything that I need to take to the show? I don't, because I have a couple bins that have like my fabric in it and my little hangers and all that stuff, and I've done shows for I don't even know how long. I mean, 25 years I've done shows. Not this particular show, but retail shows and that. No, I don't have a list. I'm gonna start a list because I don't know, I still have not found my bin that had my hangers in it. You saw from my video last week from our Nashville experience that I had to make all my own hangers with wire. And it was really hard on the hands because it was hard wire and it was filthy. The wire was like getting black all over my hands. So then I'd make the wire hanger and I couldn't touch my stuff because then I would get, my linen would get all dirty. It was just a pain in the butt. So I'm gonna make a master list of everything that I need. So next year I won't forget anything. Mark my words. I don't need to bring in everything. I'm not bringing everything anymore. In my theory was that if I have as many models as I can have hanging, and I have as many charts and as many punch needle patterns as I have in stock in my studio, why not bring it all? Because you never know what someone's going to be looking for. Because I have stores that come in and they want something that I might have designed 4 years ago, and I have it there for them. But still, the majority come in and they want what's new and that's it. And they might thumb through the other patterns and buy a couple extra. I'm not doing that anymore. It's a lot to bring and a lot to then bring back home. So we're gonna lighten our load a lot. And I was talking, and this is how it started. I was talking to Kathy, Hands-On Design, and her display was pretty, very pretty, clean, it just really showcased her new stuff. And she had, and then she had some like bestsellers there, you know, the one, is it called Year of Celebration? I don't know, but it is the monthly one on the little clipboards. And you know, that wasn't new for market, but she had it there. So, because I mentioned to her, your design or your display is really nice. And so her and I were talking about that, and I explained why I bring so much stuff. And I said, but I like, you know, this clean look better. And I said, so I'm not bringing everything next year. I said, I'm going to tell my husband about it. And I said, he'll probably come down here and give you a big hug. Because he's always like, do we have to bring so much stuff? I'm like, yes, we have to. But anyway, we're not going to next year. So I'm just going to bring, new stuff and then bestsellers. And then number 5, I need more time to do videos. I already mentioned that. Yes, Sunday, I'm going to hit it hard at 9 o'clock and hopefully get more videotaping in. Number 6, start earlier on finishing and writing instructions. This is my goal this year. Now, normally, for past shows and markets, I design specific, hi baby, you want in the video? I design specific, aw, she missed me so much. I design specific things like just for Nashville. Well, as I've said in previous videos, now I'm designing constantly. And I always have, like right now I have like 7 designs out there. Actually 6, because one came in today and I'm going to show it to you. It's so stinky cute. But I just want constantly to be designing and putting things out there. So as they come in, this is my goal. I really hope I stick with this goal because this is an amazing goal. When something comes in, I finish it, FFO it, like fully finish it. And like have a bin or something where I can put all the new stuff that hasn't been released, write the instructions, design the cover, print X amount to have in stock and have in a box or in that same bin or however I'm going to store them. Because that way, when it comes time to market, I would be ready to go. I mean, that only makes sense. Why I don't do it that way? Because I always think, oh, I got time, I'll do that later. And it just, you know, doesn't work out. Hold on one second. And then number 7 is stepping up my finishing, which leads me into hauls. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to finish everything. I know Faye Rigsby in Ivana. I know there's people out there that do finishing, and I may be hiring them to do some things for me because I really don't know if I'm going to find the time to do all the finishing myself. But so that's going to lead me into my haul, which, oh, I'm so excited. So Dames of the Needle. I want to turn this light off so you can see better. Oh, by the way, Casual Friday. I have no jewelry on. I have on a t-shirt. I have on yoga pants. I have dog hair everywhere on me. Casual Friday. This should come in better now. Get that light down. So this is Dames of the Needle from the Cauldron. Large pom-pom special cut colonial tee. Look at that green. Isn't that awesome? That is so my color. And thank you, Vikki, for helping me pick these things out. Let's see what else we have. Going right along with the pom-pom, here we have Barely There. And it's a variegated, like cream and tan color. This one's called Sweeney Red. Oh, look at that. It's more of a, I don't know, it's like a pinky red, but I love it. I think for a spring design, that'd be fantastic. Here's Faded Colonial Blue. Now that is definitely Faded Colonial Blue. It's hard to tell it's even blue, but I love that one. Love this color too. Merlin's Magic. That's a really nice dusty blue or a slate blue. I love the pom-poms. I love those on pillows or pincushions. This is Silk Ribbon Merlin. It must be that. Merlin's Magic. And not sure what I do with that, y'all. I'm being honest. I don't really know what I'm doing with that. And then Cotton Chenille. Oh my gosh, Colonial Tee. Look at that. And I've seen that on pincushions and pillows too. This one is Jumping Jack. 1/2 inch Rick Rack. 3 yards. I love that faded orange. Oh my goodness. I love that. This is Velvet Ribbon. 1/4 inch Velvet Ribbon. Colonial Tee. I gotta take this out because being that it's velvet, you gotta see this. Look at the juiciness of those colors, you guys. Don't look at my fingernails. Just look at the juiciness of those colors. It goes from the dark to the more rust. Oh, Lord, I love that. What am I going to do with that? I have no idea. I've got to start watching some finishing videos. I know there's a lot on YouTube. So thank you, Elizabeth, so much for these wonderful, wonderful finishing goodies. And then Lois at Lady Dot Creates. Oh my gosh, she was, oh, there's my market book. I was looking all over for that. And it's in this bag. This is the, yeah. Okay, so Lois, she has more energy than anybody I've ever met. Oh my gosh, she was so adorable. And she was excited for me. She actually left a note with my husband in our room while I was out and saying, you make sure she comes to see me. I want to give her some finishing things. So, and she was on my list to go see anyway. I just hadn't seen her yet. So here we go. Let's see what she gave me. She was generous as well. They all must see how I finish and go, you know, she needs help. This girl needs help. Give her some stuff. All right, so here we have 100% cotton, hand-dyed chenille. This is called Mossy. Look at that color. Love that. This one, hand-dyed chenille. This one is vintage. Ooh, I love that too. So pretty. I'd take them all out, but I think it would just take too long. Then we have licorice. More chenille and the licorice. And the licorice you'd think would be black, but it's more of a navy blue. It's really pretty. So make sure you can see that that's a navy blue. Nice faded kind of color. And here we have Bird's Nest, a nice brown. I thought I had this light right off. There we go. Okay. And then this one is Barn Door. And that would be so pretty on a Easter one with a bunny or something. And then she also gave me, oh, I love these. This is 100% cotton velveteen. And she gave me 4 different colors. This one is called Chili. This is kind of a bright red, but I think for a Christmas finish, that'd be great. I'd love to find a faded red. She probably had one there and I didn't see it. What do we have here? This one is Yams. Oh, look at that orange. That orange color. I love that. Here's another orange. This one's called Onion Skin. I don't know if these are coming out good enough. Look at that color. Isn't that gorgeous? And this one is potato. One of my favorite foods that I don't get to eat very often. There you go. That one's potato. Why isn't it zoom or focusing? Focus. Okay, quit acting up. Wow, I don't know what's going on with my... There we go. I think. Anyway, trust me, it's beautiful. I don't know what is wrong with my camera. So those were my beautiful gifts from Lois at Lady Dot Creates. Put them back in the bag. So thank you, Elizabeth and Lois. Pressure's on for some nice finishing now from me. All right, Q&A from 2 weeks ago. Rain Jude asked me, is Halloween Snuggles available in cross stitch? It is not as of today, but it was very well received in the punch needle, so I will be making that into cross stitch. It's not charted or anything, so I don't know when. But I'm having 4 releases a year, so at some point this year I'm sure it will be. Kyle Rekemeyer. Okay, Kyle. Kyle has a Flosstube channel. He's hilarious, and he's just awesome. Anyway, he asked me these questions before, I guess, and I missed it somehow. So my apologies, but we're going to get to him this time. So his Flosstube is Stitching in Sound. Kyle Rekemeyer. When designing something and it's just not turning out the way you want it to, do you discard the work or step away for a while and come back to see if time away has helped? If it is the latter and the design still doesn't come through the way you want, is it scrapped and restarted or abandoned entirely? Now, I'm not sure, I'm guessing that you're talking about my artwork, my paintings, but I think I'll just answer it both ways, just so that I make sure I cover what you're asking. Okay, so when I'm doing a painting and it's not coming out the way I want it, I usually do just walk away. I mean, it depends on how bad it's going. I actually have a print, and I'll have to insert it here. I hope I remember. I will continue to work on it, time permitting, if I have time, or if it's going horribly wrong and I just have a really, really bad feeling about it, then I will step away, do something else, and maybe come back to it the next day. And if I look at it the next day and I still like, I don't see what's wrong with it, I might just put it away for a week, you know. Then when I come back to it, most of the time, if I've created things in between there, usually I can figure it out. There are a handful out of my 25 years of designing and painting that I could probably count on one hand where I took the watercolor painting and just ripped it. Especially with watercolor. With acrylic, I've never done that because you can always paint over and you can constantly renew it and change colors in it. But you can't do that with watercolor. So there's been times when I have just ripped it in half. So that's for art. As far as designing, punch needle and cross stitch. Now, cross stitch, I don't stitch those, so I've never had to scrap a design. As far as designing it on the computer, I can work through things because it's on the computer. You can erase things and you can change the coloring, you know, in that program. There are times when I get a model back that I say, oh man, I really wish that, you know, I would have used a darker linen so that the sheep stood out a little bit more. And I try to, if I have that feeling about it, I will put it usually on the instructions of that chart. It's hard when you're looking at the floss and like what I do is I take the linen I'm going to use and I take the floss that I want to use for that pattern and I lay that on top of the linen, but it doesn't always work. It might look like those colors are going to work as far as like if you are doing sheep and you have a light color for the sheep, sometimes it looks like it's jumping right off the linen, but then once it's stitched it blends into the linen more. So that's the hardest part I think about designing cross stitch, because I'm not stitching it myself, and if I were to stitch something I then could say, oh, I'm going to pull that out and switch the color. For punch needle, oh yeah, I have ripped out, especially this design, I have ripped it out. So you know that I punched that completely twice. But on this one, I even ripped out and changed stuff on it. So I usually work my way through the designs as far as punch needle and cross stitch, and then with my art as well, I usually can figure it out. Unless it's watercolor and I just screwed it all up. So thanks for that question. Pam Lacey, what did you use to attach your pieces to the frames that have glass in them? That's why I had this one out, because I wanted to show you. I use fabric glue to adhere my punch needle to whatever I'm putting it on. It's just fabric glue. And I wanted to show you right now, because I needed to take this off because I have to send this piece to one of my licensees to make a hooked rug. So I wanted to be able to take this off and not I wouldn't have to send that whole frame because he has to then send it to India. So okay, so this is what I'm going to recommend, because it did pull a few of the stitches out. If I can get close enough for you to see. See how it pulled some of these out? But on this side you can't tell. It didn't pull out enough to make a difference. So the design still looks good. But what I would recommend then is I shouldn't have put it on this part. I should have just put it around the edge where it's folded over. And if you just put it there, then when it comes off, it's not going to pull your stitches out. But it didn't ruin the design. Thank you, Jesus. Jan Kroon from Ashburn, Virginia stitched this for me. And it's called Wool Keeper. And I didn't iron it. I was so excited when I saw it, and I was getting ready to come down here to film this, so I just grabbed it and came down here. I wish I would have ironed it first, but anyway. This will be a new release. I'm not sure exactly when. I love the sheep. Look at how cute the sheep turned out. The little sheep at her feet. She's got a little wool bag, and she's got that cute little hair. So I have this little line going. It's kind of these little prim characters. Harvest at the Mill is one of them, and then we've got Wool Keeper, and then Guardian. Oh, My Sweet Guardian. They have this kind of this primitive little doll look to them, and I want to continue with that because people seem to really like it, and I just think they're cute. We are down to our Chinese fortune teller. And I think the box that it was sitting in fell on the floor because it's not on the table, and I can see there's a bunch of stuff that fell on the floor. In the midst of packing for market, stuff got a little crazy. And oh, there it is. So Nancy King chose Blue 3-1. I can't wait to see what it lands on. B-L-U-E 1, 2, 3. And then I pick number 1. Pet peeves. Something different. Pet peeves. Oh my. Pet peeves. Alright, I just had this one. This makes me absolutely crazy. I don't have to drive a whole lot because I work on the property, my studio. Someday I will start at the house and in the spring when it's pretty out, and I will walk you down to the studio so you can kind of see my commute every day. And it's really pretty, and it's really peaceful, and it's really nice. But when I do have to drive, I feel so bad for all people that have to commute to work in a car on the expressway. But what makes me crazy is when someone pulls out in front of you, goes slow, and then is turning left, like 2 roads down, and you look behind you and there's nobody behind you. They could have waited for you to go by, and then they could have done their thing. That makes me crazy. Crazy. And I just want to, real quick, I mentioned Lent earlier. And I know, if y'all aren't Catholic, you're probably like, why does she keep bringing this up? But this is my faith, and it's a big part of who I am. And I'm not going to go on and on and on about it. But Lent is a super wonderful time of the year. It just makes you, you know, you're supposed to like give up something that you enjoy for Lent, or you're supposed to do, I mean, it's more prayerful time, and or you know, there's a lot of different things that you can do for Lent to help you grow in your spirituality and to just prepare yourself for Jesus, for his death and resurrection. Anyways, I have like a few things that I'm doing for Lent this year, and I'm just going to put a little link to what Lent is all about, because even if you're not Catholic, it's a beautiful time of the year to do some of the things that Catholics do during Lent. It's 40 days out of your year where you just get more focused on your faith, more focused on Jesus, more focused on your, you know, developing your relationship with Jesus. And it's just, I don't know, it's a beautiful time of the year. So I just wanted to bring that up because it's a big part of who I am. Other than that, we are done. We are done this week. Thank you for being here. And next week, I hope to have some fun things to show you as far as finishes, like those paintings. Wouldn't that be nice? If I do the paintings this coming week, I will be doing them live, not the whole thing live, but I will be going live on Facebook. So if you haven't joined my business Facebook page, right here is the address. Go there and like my page, and then I think you can click the like notifications, so when I go live you'll get a little notification on your phone so you can watch me and you can ask questions and we can chit chat. Anyway, thanks so much for being here. Thank you for your comments. I read every one of them just today. I'm like, I was in the car for 11 hours on the way home from Missouri. Why didn't I read those then? But anyway, I read them all today. Love them all. Thank you so much. I love it, and it's so funny because a lot of you put on there that your favorite thing other than cross stitch and quilting and that is antiquing and thrift shopping, and I'm like, why didn't I say that? Because that's one of my favorite things to do too. There's just so many things I like to do. I guess I just couldn't think of them all. Anyway, thanks for being here. Love you all, and I'm just excited about this year, and we'll see you next week. Bye now.